Welcome to One Brothas Mind, and I am KD Smooth. Today we will question and challenge popular information and views from a B1 perspective, while we expose the real facts you need. We do this to strengthen your logical, critical, and discerning thinking skills. Because in today's world, hard choices are mandatory and they come with consequences. So you need all the information. And at One Brothas Mind, we do this from a B1 Yeshua the Christ follower's perspective. Now, if you're not ready, you better get ready with KD Smooth at One Brothas Mind. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's KD Smooth coming back at you with a new report. I pray you all are well. Also, shalom to the family. In this evening's report, family, we are going to cover an issue that there's not much, or let's say there's not many people covering this issue or providing this information for us, family. So you definitely want to stay tuned and plugged into this report, because this affects virtually everyone as far as employment, jobs, and businesses go. Okay? And it's this report here on your screen. The report about non-poach, non-compete agreements and trap agreements. Yeah, you probably gonna wait, what? Huh? Non-poach, non-compete, and trap agreements. As I've told people for decades, slavery never ended, y'all. It was just given new names. Okay? And as you see also at the top of your screen here, this is based on a report from 2018. But y'all, this stuff is still going on today in full swing. But in this report by Jason Tursky in 2018, 7 fast food chains agreed to no longer use non-poach agreements. Yeah. Google it. You can find this article. Okay? But like I said, family, this stuff is still going on today. So many of you may be asking yourself, well, what is a non-poach or non-compete or trap agreement? Okay, what are they? What is their purposes? Why am I just not hearing about it? They didn't want this information out. They didn't want you to become aware. It was another way that they were cheating employees, if you will. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that everything about the non-poach, non-compete, and trap agreements are just flat out evil, wrong, and satanic. I'm not saying that. They do have some righteous purposes. We're going to get into that in a moment, okay? But first, family, I want to share with you a quick video clip and to get you kind of caught up to speed, okay? And then we'll chop it up from there. This video clip comes from a show that used to be on TV. I don't know if RT's on TV or not anymore. I'm not getting into that, but this show is called America's Lawyer. Okay. I highly recommend this specific show. You can find it on YouTube if you search for it. As you see, it was or still is on the RT network, but they do a very good job at covering and reporting on issues that affect us all from the perspective or context of the perspective of the little man, the citizen. And they do a very good job on a variety of issues. I highly recommend it. Check it out if you get a chance. Okay? So we're going to do this clip here real quick to get you caught up on non-poach, non-compete, and trap agreements. And then we'll come back and chop it up. Okay? Here we go.
For many years, fast food franchises agreed not to recruit or hire one another's workers within the same chain. These no-poach agreements, as they called it, meant a worker couldn't get better pay or move up the ladder by going to another franchise. But now, 7 major international fast food chains have agreed, under pressure, of course, to eliminate this practice after Washington State Attorney General threatened to sue them over the practice, saying it was anti-competitive. The chains, including Arby's and Jimmy John's and Buffalo Wild Wings, Carl's Jr., and Cinnabon, will stop enforcing or using these practices across the country. McDonald's previously agreed to remove such restrictions. These no-poach clauses are a clear example of a rigged system. Workers for these fast food chains earning just minimum wage had no idea these clauses even existed since they never signed anything. Yet when they try to go to another business to improve their wages, they can't because this condition in a contract and that they never signed. It's right there in the contract. They never saw it. They never signed the contract. There's no other way to come up with a sound business justification for this practice other than reducing competition for workers and reducing what you pay workers.
All right, family. There you have it. Yeah. Yes, this is a thing. If you didn't know, this has been going on for quite some time. Non-poach, non-compete, and trap agreements. They're still going on to this day. So we're going to chop it up. We're going to explore these 3 different types of agreements that are out here that you need to be looking out for and watching out for, family. And we're going to finish with some things that you can do in regards to solutions to help protect yourself, okay, from these types of agreements and situations. All right, so let's get into it here, family. As I said, this is modern day slavery or sharecropping practices going on. As you heard in the report, even practices that you as an employee weren't even aware of, that you didn't even sign for, as far as the non-poach agreements, you don't even know it's happening. Okay? But they're happening. They're there. Okay? And again, some of these agreements do have some righteous purposes. Just a few examples of some righteous purposes. Well, this first one, I won't say it's righteous, but it's one of the excuses employers and businesses give. They claim that they need to recoup their cost for new employee training. Yeah. Right? So they hire you, you're an entry level or low level employee. They hire you. They got to train you to be able to do the job that they need you to do. So they said, well, there's a cost to that for us as a business. So because that costs us money, to train you if we train you and you turn around and leave or quit within a couple weeks after we trained you and invested that cost into training you? We just lost money. We lost on our investment in you. So that's why we want to require trap agreements in our employee contract, so that if we train you, we pay the cost for that, and after you're trained, you leave a few weeks later to go take another job, well, then you have to reimburse our business, our company, for the cost of that training. But when you look at entry level or low level jobs, isn't one of the reasons why those are entry level or low level jobs and pay at the lowest rate in regards to wages of the pay scale? Isn't one of the reasons why that is because they know, with it being an entry level or low level job, that they're going to have to train you? So they're actually paying you less because you are unskilled labor, right? Yeah. Also, in other industries, say like if you're a radio DJ or personality, and you work for a radio station, and you're one of their top personalities on their radio station, they'll have you sign oftentimes non-compete agreements because the radio station and company feels that, hey, yeah, you're our employee, but you can't just up and leave our radio station and go work for another radio station, because we paid the cost, we invested costs into you. We actually paid to build your brand that makes you so popular on the airwaves. So you can't just quit our radio station today and go work for another radio station that's going to pay you more money tomorrow. There's got to be some time periods here for non-compete, and you know that you, or you got to buy us out or pay us back for our investment, something. So, you know, there are some righteous purposes behind some of these agreements. Or same thing if you're doing something with a company and you're in the sales, you're a salesman or woman, okay, and you have full access to, say in the example of a salesperson, their customer list. Well, if there's no restrictions, no agreements, you can just quit that job, make a copy of their whole customer base or customer list, go work for another company as a salesperson, and say, hey, I got a whole list of new customers here I'll bring with me, you know, to help y'all build y'all business if y'all pay me more money or whatever the case may be. Can't do that. And that's another reason why there are some righteous purposes within these various agreements. Some. So real quick, let's go over briefly what each of these agreements are, so we're clear. There's 3 different types. This first one is a non-compete agreement. It's an agreement where an employee must not enter into competition with their employer. An employee must not enter into competition with their employer after the employment period is over. These agreements also prohibit the employee from revealing proprietary information or secrets or intellectual property to any other parties or businesses or new jobs or whatever during and or after employment. Many contracts specify a certain length of time you can't compete with your previous employer. When the employee is barred from working for a competitor, so you can't work for this company and have this kind of job and then go work for a competitor for a certain period of time, or after you end your employment. Okay? There's a certain time frame you can't go work for another employer. And some of these non-compete agreements have an area or geography written into them that say you can't work for a competing company in the same industry or same type of work within a so many mile radius. Okay? So that's non-compete agreements. A little more information. Some of them restricts previous employees from joining or starting rival or competing businesses for up to 1 to 2 years. I mean, to help protect unique or trademark or intellectual properties, they'll have NDA agreements written into them as well. Non-compete agreements often prevent you from using your experience that you learned with your current employer. It prevents you from using your experience to go to another employer and get higher paying jobs doing the same type of work. And like I said, also a lot of them have geographic protections built in as well. But these agreements, employers are required to ask or required for the agreements to be in effect. An employee or a new employee has to agree and sign these contracts or these agreements. Okay? And in addition, the terms of the agreements, the non-compete agreements, must be legal and enforceable by the state that you're in. And you got to be aware different states throughout the U.S. have various levels of these agreements and laws. There's no set federal standard yet. So different states, it's all over the place. We're going to get to that in a minute. So real quick, a real simple example is, say you entry level, you got hired by Jimmy John's, you learn how to make sub sandwiches. They taught you how to prep and set up for sales, and they taught you how to do customer service and doing and all this and that. And let's say you decide either you were already a pretty good cook on your own, or after receiving this training, and now you got it where you know how to do it really good, you decide, you know what, I can go open up my own sandwich shop and sell sandwiches, or I can go down the street to Subway. They want to pay me a little bit more money, right? Do you see how there's an issue there? So literally, a lot of fast food places will have non-compete agreements in the paperwork that you sign when you accept the job. We're going to talk about that in a moment. And if you're not aware and you get trained and you working at Jimmy John's for a while, now you're pretty good at making sandwiches, and you go apply at Subway and you get hired on at Subway for a little bit higher pay, Jimmy John's may come back to you or send you a letter and say, we're suing you for this amount of money because you signed a non-compete agreement. See how that works? Or in the other example, if you go and start your own sandwich shop a couple blocks away, now you are, in doing so, you are a competitor with Jimmy John's. So they can sue you for that if you signed a non-compete agreement. Okay? Now let's look at the non-poaching agreements. Real quick, a non-poaching agreement is an agreement that prohibits competitors or franchisees from hiring or pursuing each other's employees. They can be informal verbal agreements and or written agreements. Yeah, let that sink in, family. So, well, I ain't gonna get into it, but that's what it is. We're gonna cover it in a minute. I don't want to jump the gun on it. That's what a non-poaching agreement. You can't steal the employees or workers from this fast food place down from the Taco Bell. You can't say, well, come to, talk to them employees and say, hey, I pay all y'all extra $1 an hour if y'all come down here to McDonald's and work here as my employees at the McDonald's because I need help bad. Well, oftentimes, and this has been going on for decades, family. Yeah, I know this may be your first time hearing it, but oftentimes McDonald's and the Taco Bell will have a informal, verbal, or wink agreement that they're not going to hire or recruit or poach each other's employees. We're going to talk about that in a moment. All right. But that's a basic description of a non-poaching agreement. Okay. Again, your employer says, no, you can't go work there. You have to stay here or we're going to sue you. Or if we've trained you in regards to the non-compete agreements, you can't go start a similar business or another sandwich shop. We'll sue you and open up. You can't become one of our competitors, and we trained you on how to do this, at least not for a certain period of time or within a certain geographical area. Yeah. Okay. Now let's look at traps. Trap agreements. Training recovery agreements. Training cost recovery agreements. Traps are contract provisions to trap workers into low-paying jobs with poor working conditions. It's basically, if you will, student loan debt or student debt, but from employers in the workplace instead of schools. Provisions that impose huge fees on workers for bogus on-the-job trainings if they try to leave before a arbitrary determined date set or period of time by the employer. The training in question can range from pre-job required education to even basic orientation programs as well. If workers bound by a trap agreement attempt to leave their job, employers can threaten them with sky-high interest rates on the cost of this training, money owed, as well as the actual money they say is owed, attorney fees, collection fees, or the ability to withhold financial paychecks and retirement balances. Yeah. A lot of people are getting caught by these. Okay? And like I said, family, all of these 3 different types of agreement have been going on. Traps are they're not new, but they're growing in regards to their use by companies and employees. They've been around, just like all the rest of them, but they're growing. they're making their way down the employment tree down to like entry level and low level skilled or entry level skilled jobs. Okay. All right. So the number one thing, if you don't remember anything here from this report, the number one thing that you must remember from this report, family, is hit the like button and share this report on all your social media and with your peoples, man. They need to know this information, okay? And make sure you're subscribed to One Brothas Mind, where we bring you the information and facts you need. Then the second thing that you need to know, or the number two thing that you need to know, is when you go accept a job from anywhere and they hand you the documentation that you need to sign to accept that job, and those are your contracts. Those are your employment contracts. Read all of them. All of the fine print. Okay? Because that's the only way you're going to know if any of these agreements are within that paperwork that you have to sign for this new job. And again, many different employers, companies, and businesses are using these agreements or sneaking these agreements within this documentation because they know most people out here, they're just so happy that they agreed to give them a job that they're willing to just sign the paper and be like, okay, when I start, I need the money bad. I need to start getting paid. Don't do that. Read the agreement, every word of it, all your documentation, even the fine print. We're going to talk about that a little bit more here in a moment. Okay? So, in regards to the non-poach agreements, family, let's say, this is a typical street in an area, a business district where there's a lot of different entry-level fast food employers all together. Say you work at the McDonald's and you work there for a few months or what have you. You got trained, you know what's going down, you've gotten pretty good, you realize they in general feel you're a good worker, and you're like, okay, I can do this, I got this type of work. You know what I'm saying? But you're looking at how much they're paying you, and you're like, man, I still need to make more money. So let me see here. Let me check out how much Taco Bell or Pizza Hut is paying down the street. And you find out they're paying 50 cents, $1 more, whatever the case may be. And you think to yourself, hey man, let me go down there and put in an application. Because they paying more. Because I need to make, if you working at these jobs, you always need to make more money, right? So they're paying more. So you go down the street and put in applications at the Taco Bell or whatever other places it is that's paying more. And then you're waiting to hear back or get a response back from those applications. But you don't realize, weeks are going by, you ain't heard nothing. They ain't called you about your application. Every couple of weeks you call and follow up on your application. Like, hey, I put in an application with y'all, just following up, checking it to see the progress, where y'all at. If y'all still considering me, is it still on file, or what the situation is. And they give you some bogus response, but they never offer you an interview or let alone offer you the job. And you can't figure out why. Oftentimes, it's because in situations like this and others, all these different businesses, not just the same business or franchisees, but these different businesses in this area, they have non-verbal agreements, non-verbal, non-poaching agreements. So when you went and on your application to Taco Bell or Pizza Hut, you put down your experience to let them know your experience in working in fast food, say, hey, I'm good at this. I can, I got experience, right? And then you put down the date of either you're still employed or you worked for them maybe a few months ago or what have you for a certain period of time. That you thinking that's good information to provide. But Taco Bell or Pizza Hut are looking like that, realizing they have a non-verbal, non-poach agreement with McDonald's. They're looking at that going, oh no, we agreed not to steal or hire McDonald's employees, at least for a certain period of time. They gotta be like at least a year or two that they haven't worked at any of these, at say McDonald's or any other place here in this area, in this industry, before we can hire them. Because if we do, then McDonald's will try to come at us and sue us for poaching their employees. You see how that works? Yeah, that's been going on for a long time, family. Get that look off your face. Yeah. A long time, for decades. So, some of y'all scratching your head right now going, so is that why I never heard back from all the jobs and applications I put in? Very well could be. Okay, let's move on. We're going to dig into that a little bit more here in a moment. Non-poach agreements are also, family, they're also basically wage control in a particular area or industry. So like I said, if you set up like this in this area, it's a form of, okay, if we're not going to poach employees from this one to that one, because we want to pay them, we're going to pay them 50 cents more, $1 more. Actually, what they're doing in that area, those businesses, they're controlling the wages in that area for all of the workers, all of the employees, no matter who they work for in that area, as far as that industry goes. You work at McDonald's, they like, we're not going to pay you 50 cents more or 25 cents more and hire you at Pizza Hut. We ain't even going to hire you, let alone pay you more. We're not going to poach McDonald's employees. We definitely need employees. Need them bad. But if we poach McDonald's employees and offer them more money, then what is it that's stopping McDonald's from poaching Pizza Hut's employees and paying them a 50 cents or $1 more? You see that? It's a way to stop and prevent wage competition in a particular industry or area. Do you see that? So again, most of the times these non-poach agreements they're verbal wink agreements. They're not written down. They're not on paper nowhere. They're just wink agreements that are controlling how much money you are able to make in your neighborhood, in your area, in your community. Yeah, now you're starting to see it. And they even go as far as, like, say you saw, like, if you work at one McDonald's, and you're like, oh, this is jacked up. The manager, he's horrible. He or she is horrible. I gotta get away from here. I know I'm a good employee, but I don't deserve to be talked to or treated like this. I'm trained. I'm fully skilled at working at McDonald's. Let me go to the other McDonald's that's so many blocks away and apply there for one of their jobs, they'll want to hire me because I'm already trained, fully trained to do everything at McDonald's. So I'm an asset to them. I'm valuable to another McDonald's, right? But what you don't know or didn't know is a lot of franchises, they have written non-poaching agreements. So all the McDonald's in a certain area or in your city, they have written agreements. So if you are a McDonald's employee that's fully trained and you go try to apply for a job at another McDonald's in your area, in your city, and you thinking, like I said, your experience makes you very valuable to all of the other McDonald's. So you should be able to get a little bit more money. But yet you apply and you put that experience on your application. They never call you back. They never interview. They never offer you the job. And you can't figure out why. Oftentimes it's because they have a non-poach agreement within their franchises. So if somebody else come in and apply and put on their application, they got experience at a previous McDonald's, they won't call you back. They won't offer you a job. Or they have a agreement saying they can't hire someone that has previously worked at a McDonald's in the last year or two. Yeah. So they won't call you back. They won't offer you the job. And you scratching your head going crazy like, why the hell? I got years of experience at McDonald's and none of these other McDonald's is calling me back, offering me jobs. Why? What did I do? I'm a good employee. I'm a hard worker. I be on time consistently. What? Or I'm not getting promotions in my current McDonald's, but they have other McDonald's locations have opportunities for promotion and higher paying positions and things. Why can't I get in on that? Yeah. The problem was not you. So, again, family, when it comes to these non-compete, non-poach, and trap agreements, there's a variety of different levels of enforcement and laws on these types of agreements and how they're used all over the country. There is not one set national law. So, depending on where you are, the different details of these types of agreements is all over the place. So you have to educate yourself based on where you live in, what state you live in, as to these types of agreement, their levels of enforcement, what's allowed, what's not allowed. You basically got to do your own homework so you are informed as you go out here seeking employment. Okay? As I said, family, slavery never ended. They just changed the name. And again, in regards to the non-poaching agreements, as we began, it was 2017. Until 2017, McDonald's required all of its franchisees to sign a non-poach agreement that had a 6-month time frame on it. So if you work at a McDonald's currently or in the past 6 months, they wasn't gonna call you back. They wasn't gonna offer you a job. You had to be away from McDonald's for more than 6 months. Yeah. And then eventually the court struck these poaching agreements down, as you heard in the video clip. Said this stuff is illegal, man. You can't do this. Why were they doing it in the first place? because you were exactly what you see on your screen. They just changed the names. They stopped calling it slavery and started calling you an employee. But it was the same game. Okay. All right. Now, in contrast, if you accept a job with an employer or a company or what have you, that has, where that employer, that company consistently pays competitive market rate wages, they consistently or regularly reanalyze their or reevaluate their pay wages based on what the current market is every couple of years or what have you, to ensure that they're paying their employees competitive market wages, and they have, say, none or very few of these types of agreements or clauses within their employment contracts, then you got a pretty good job. But you won't know which is your situation if you didn't read the fine print and all of the information in your new job documents and paperwork before you signed it. Okay? So, again, let's talk about these types of agreements in relation to businesses and business ownership. Let's say you decide to buy a business. Say you see a business that's over here in a certain location, it's doing all right, but and say the current owners of the business look like they're getting up in age and whatnot, and you're like, man, say you a cook, you got good food, you're like, man, I could buy that business, that location. It's a mom and pop shop. I can buy that. Work out the details on whether or not I'm going to keep the name or change the name, or whether I'm going to keep some of their recipes or not. But if they would sell me that business, I can buy it and sell my food and recipes and goods out of that business. That'd be a good deal. Let's say you decide to do that and they agree, y'all worked out an agreement and you agreed on an amount and you paid them, and that's now your business, that location. You happy as a dog, right? But what's to stop that mom and pop couple from going a couple blocks down the street and opening up a new business, a new food business, just like the same one you just bought, and now they're your competitors? Right? What's to stop them from doing that without having some of these agreements built into your contracts that you signed, or business agreement, your purchase agreement, things of that nature? Because if there's nothing in there, they can just go down a couple blocks and start another sandwich shop, and now they're competing with you. They might have wanted a new location then anyway, and they just used your money to help them afford to be able to go relocate to a new location. It just played you. Right. So again, some of these agreements and certain aspects of them have legitimate purposes. Okay. Same thing if you have a business and you have unique recipes or software or intellectual property or customer lists that you need to protect, because that's what your business is based on. You got a special barbecue sauce that ain't nobody else got, a special recipe for it. So you hire some people to work for you, and they're employees, and they learn how to make you have to teach them often how to make your recipes. So now they know how to make your barbecue sauce. And then they go, everybody love this sauce. Let me go down a couple blocks down the street and open my own barbecue shop. I'm going to use this same recipe. I may add a little extra salt to it or something, or pepper. But I'm gonna, and it won't be the same if I add a little extra pepper or some paprika or something. It won't be the same. I can say it's mine. What's to stop people from doing that? Right. Or you created some software. What's to stop people from copying your software and taking it and go start their own business and doing the same business? So again, there are some legitimate purposes for some of these agreements and certain aspects of them. Okay? Also, if you have your own business or you create your own intellectual property, recipe, software, what have you, you definitely need to look into if you can copyright or trademark or patent your intellectual property for your business. That's one of the main things that helps protect your special intellectual property and information and prevent people from just going, working for you, learning how you do it or what you're doing or the recipe you putting together and then taking off with your recipe and going and use it somewhere else. Okay? For their own business. Okay? Because if they do, and you got trademarks and copyrights and things of that nature, you can sue their pants off. They stole your stuff. Right? Okay. Also, one of the things, family, I want you to always understand when you're looking to accept a new job as an employee, all employee contracts for new jobs, they're basically a contract agreement. So they're all negotiable. Even if you just get hired at McDonald's, you read through the thing, you're like, hey, what's this clause right here? I don't want to agree to that. Can y'all take that out? You can, they may not take it out, but you can be like, I don't want that in here. I don't agree to that. And they go, oh, well, we can't change it. Like, okay, well, I'll see y'all later then. I'm going down to the next company. You don't have to agree to it. Okay, I know, especially with entry-level jobs, it's a lot more difficult to take that approach. Because if you're looking for an entry-level job, 9 times out of 10, you really need that job really bad. So, at the very least, family, you got to read your agreements and understand what they are. Ask questions if you don't fully understand what this clause is or this paragraph is saying, what it means, Okay? But all contracts and agreements are negotiable. Keep that in mind. All right. Again, modern day slavery or sharecropping never ended. And for those that don't know, sharecropping was a way to trap people into basically the same slavery context as slavery was. It was a way to trap them by way of saying they had debt, right? A family would agree to farm someone else's land. The owner of the land would so-called loan them the tools, the mule, the supplies, the seeds, and all that stuff that they needed to plant and grow crops and farm the land. And then at the harvest time, the owner of the property would assign certain values to all of those supplies and the mules and everything that the family that actually did the hard work used. And those amounts would always total way more than the money that the family made from the harvest. So if the family made $500 from the harvest of what they farmed and grew on this land, the owner of the land will say, well, okay, y'all did great. Y'all had a great year, but y'all owe me. Carry the 1, carry the 2. Y'all owe me $1,000. So Y'all pay me the $500, so that leaves y'all with a $500 balance. So now the family owes him, can't leave because they have a debt, according to the owner of the property. Do you see that? They just made up an arbitrary amount because they want to keep that family trapped, farming their land and keep making money off of that family and their labor. Do you see that? All right, let's move forward. And lastly, what are traps? Traps are contract provisions, as I just described, to trap workers into low-paying jobs with poor working conditions. It's student loan debt, but from employers in the workplace instead of schools. Provisions that impose huge fees on workers for bogus on-the-job training expenses if they try to leave before an arbitrary period of time set by the employer. The training in question can range from pre-job required education to even basic orientation programs. If workers bound by a trap agreement attempt to leave their job, the employers, as I said before, they can threaten them with sky-high interest rates and lawsuits on the training, money owed, attorney's fees, collection fees, or the ability to withhold financial paycheck. Y'all get it. It's sharecropping. 2022. It's literal sharecropping. Because the employer can make up whatever amount they want. There's no set amount. And put it on the agreement. You go to work for McDonald's and they say, okay, they got it in there. If you don't read the paperwork you signing, that if you accept this job, you're going to pay an old McDonald's $6,000 if you leave if you try to leave or quit within the next 2 years. You now got to pay McDonald's $6,000. Yeah. Wait. For what? To learn how to flip burgers? Y'all had to teach me that. Y'all gave me the job. Y'all seen I didn't have any experience at working at McDonald's previously. Y'all had to train me, but then you're gonna charge me for it and trap me in to keep working for McDonald's for the next 2 years or whatever period of time. What if I get a job offer from somewhere else, anywhere else, doing something completely different? I can't take that job offer and go make more money because I still have this 2-year trap agreement? Yes, family. Okay? So what you have to understand is more and more U.S. companies are charging employees for job training if they quit. Okay? You have to get that locked in. So again, you have to read your paperwork before you sign and agree to that job, to accept that job. You have to. Because they got all different types of variations of these agreements or clauses, many of them within that documentation. And when you sign on the line, you're trapped. You're locked in. Okay? So again, if Walmart hired you and they have a trap clause in their hiring paperwork and you signed it, you ain't care, you like, finally got a job. Okay, you just so happy, you like, all right, I can do something now. And then you've been there 6 months, a year, and several of the Walmart managers are racist or crazy or just off the chain. You like, oh no, I got to go. They tripping. I'm gonna be done hurt somebody. I got to go right now. And you go apply for another job and you get another job somewhere else, Target or at a warehouse or landscaping, something completely different. And you leave, and then all of a sudden you get a letter from Walmart in the mail saying that they're suing you or will sue you if you don't pay back the amount of money that they have set for you to pay back for the training costs that they are charging you for. And if you don't pay it back, they're going to sue you, or they're not going to give you, or they're going to take it out or withhold your last couple paychecks or whatever the case may be. Yeah, they're doing this, y'all. More and more people are getting caught with these things, and it's going to continue. Okay? So, and you think, okay, Walmart, McDonald's, no, it's happening all over. Even nurses. In a lot of hospitals today, many nurses have been required to take training programs, and then they were required to pay employers if they left before a certain period of time. These are licensed nurses. So you go as a nurse, you go to college or some other licensing program, RN program, you get your RN license. You apply at a hospital. They have some of these trap agreements and clauses buried in that paperwork that you sign because they offered you the job, and they hand you all these papers to sign for you to start working for them, right? And you don't pay attention, you don't read it through everything, and you sign the stuff, and now you're working at the hospital, and yeah, they overworking you, giving you too many patients, managers are insane, racist, or whatever. And you're like, I'm out of here. You apply to another hospital that you've heard is a better working environment, maybe pays more, what have you. And you get on there and you put your 2 weeks in and you finish you think you finish, and when you leave, you're going to be done. No. You get that letter from your hospital saying you owe thousands to your previous nursing employer for training costs. You're like, wait, what? For what? I was already an RN before I got there. Oh, well, yeah, it's becoming a racket. A lot of hospitals are requiring extra little pre-employment training and other training they want to tack on for the sole purpose of having a trap clause or profiting from trap clauses. A lot of them are doing that now, have been. And many nurses that are getting caught by these have said they were not told about the training repayment requirements before beginning to work. They didn't read the paperwork. And that classroom instruction often just repeated what they already were trained and educated for in college or in their RN licensing program. They just repeated the stuff, and now they want to charge them for it. So you go to college being RN. Now, in the typical fashion, you got student loan debt. You get a job at a hospital, and they have you do some extra little training that you already, information and training that you already been through in college. But then, because you didn't read the paperwork, they got trap clauses in your agreement. So now, if you leave that hospital, they're going to charge you and bill you for their little jank leg retraining or copy training that they did. And you was a nurse, an RN before you got there. You had your license. You didn't need. Y'all better start paying attention. Okay? Let's move on. Same thing in another industry, in the trucking industry. Trucking companies train people for commercial driver's license, but many charge more than $6,000 if those people, now trained as a truck driver, leave the company before a certain period of time. Now, that like I said, there's a line. Where is that line as far as cost? That trucking company did invest in cost in training you to drive trucks if you had never driven trucks before and didn't know how. They had to train you to do it and give you so you can get your license for it. And then you're trained now, they paying you a certain amount of money. And then within 2 or 3, 4 months, you figure out, well, what they're paying me here at this company, I can go work for this other truck company and make another $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 or more. I'm going over there. And the company that you currently work for, or if you went ahead and left, that you previously worked for, now they sending you a bill in the mail for you to repay them for the training costs, whatever that amount is that they put on the paper and made up. You got to repay them for that training cost. Yeah. So in many ways, family, what you need to understand, companies, employers, businesses are looking for ways to keep their workers from quitting without raising or paying competitive wages or improving work conditions. It's that's what they call traps. They lock you in. It's going to cost you to leave. Yeah, we know we paying you, we're not paying you competitive wages, so you can leave, but you're going to pay us our training costs back. What is that? Whatever we decide it's going to be. Whatever amount we say it is. What? They're doing this, y'all. So, in addition to that information that we've just covered, again, family, hit the like button, smash the like, share this report on all your social media, and be sure to be subscribed to One Brothas Mind, where we bring you the information and facts you need. Share this with your people, because I want to dig at this issue, these agreements, and let's look at how they impact and affect us, family, in the Black community. All right, I always look at things because there's the general impact, and then there's how they affect us in our community. Oftentimes, the effect is far worse. Okay? So, like I mentioned before, in our communities, first off, for most of us, transportation and job opportunities are limited. They're scarce as hell in our communities. They're scarce as hell. So if there's non-poaching agreements, non-competition agreements, and trap agreements, even amongst the few fast food places or whatever companies that are literally still in our communities, that just further prevents us from finding better jobs or better paying jobs to make our lives better. That literally locks us in. Like I said, slavery never ended, y'all. Okay? It locks us in. Many of us, we don't have, for whatever reason, we may not have a good car that we can get out and drive really far away outside our neighborhood, outside our community, to go work for some of these other places and where these agreements may not apply. So we become captives. Can you say slaves, or slavery never ended? And the bus systems, most city buses or subway systems, they don't go everywhere. They don't cover the whole city. So while they are helpful to a certain amount or certain degree, they're limited as well. So you still are, in a sense, trapped in regards to where you can get to if you don't have your own reliable car. Do you see how you still trapped as a slave with these types of agreements in our communities, especially? Yeah. I mean, most of our communities pretty much look like this. Like I said, very limited jobs, very limited employment opportunities. So if there's one KFC on the block here, or something like a pizza place or something, you like, okay, you get a job there, all right, cool. But if that job is low paying, or they treat you horribly, you're like, oh, I gotta get out of here. And you're smart enough to say, well, let me go apply for some other jobs before I just quit. And you try, where else you gonna go? How far you gotta travel to find other similar jobs and job openings? We're very limited in most of our communities, in most of our neighborhoods. It's a problem. And the franchisees and the few companies that are still in our communities, in our neighborhoods, they know this. They basically got you as a captive employee pool. Which is another reason, side note, why it's so desperately important for us to, if we don't go to college, go to some kind of special skill or vocational training. If you can, take it in high school, that something that will give you a license or a certification so you don't get stuck in this system. You got better chances at the least, right? Or in many of our communities, our neighborhoods, they're just job deserts. Like I said, you know, you got a rib shack, a gas station, or, you know, there may be a cleaner's way down the street, you know, but most of the businesses, they're closed. There's no businesses there. So if there's no businesses, there's no jobs, or very limited, very few jobs. So you're kind of a captive audience, especially if you don't have reasonable, reliable transportation. You're stuck. Yeah. Which is another reason why here at One Brothas Mind, we advocate for reparations now or no vote. Because if we receive our reparations now, this same block immediately would be, because we now have the resources and money to do it, all of these buildings will open up with various different types of businesses. Immediately. We can then hire our own, employ our own. We can have fully functional business communities within our neighborhoods and communities. This is why another reason it's so important to buy black in our communities. Support the businesses, the black-owned businesses in our communities. They need our support, us buying services and products and whatever it is from them. They have to make money to be able to afford to stay open. They have to make a reasonable profit. They only do that if we support them. Right? That's how we build our communities. I know what a lot of y'all saying, and I say it too. Black-owned business owners, y'all gotta step y'all customer service game up, man. Just because you a black-owned business owner and you're in the black neighborhood and black people are coming in, you can't talk to us any old kind of way, take God knows how long to provide our food or service or whatever product you're doing. You know, be inconsistent, do it any old kind of way, just throw stuff together. No, man. That's why most of our businesses are failing. Our customer service sucks. Yeah, I said it. What happened to when a customer comes into your business, you greet them with at least a half a smile, a hello. What can I do for you today? What can I get for you today? Thank you for coming in. How about that? Because they could have went to McDonald's. They didn't have to come to your barbecue shop. Thank you. We really appreciate your business. Let me take your order. Okay. Let me repeat your order back to you so I can ensure that I have your order correct. Go and fill that order in a timely fashion. Lord have mercy. It don't take 30, 45 minutes to get no food, man. At least it's not supposed to. Are we short on business on employees today? Okay, that's not your customer's fault. I mean, we try to be understanding, but man, ooh, it is pretty much impossible to support many Black-owned businesses in our community because their customer service and professionalism sucks. And they don't think nothing about it. Oh, you tripping. You trying to be uppity. You trying to be what, don't talk to me with slang. I may not understand your slang words or know them. Speak English. What can I get for you, shawty? You want some of them him hums and them woody woos? All right. No. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna get off my soapbox. Professionalism, customer service. Be thankful that Black people are coming in supporting your business. Because, I mean, literally, a lot of like little Black-owned restaurants and whatnot, mom and pop type shops, y'all got amazing food, but y'all customer service sucks. So it's like, nah, man, I ain't going back there. The food is fire, but no. They looking at me all crazy, no smile, no, the environment. I feel like I'm about to get jumped on just to go in there to get me some whatever. Give me some fish or some barbecue or something. I feel like I'm about to get robbed. Come on, man. Y'all got to, like, family, we got to do better. We got to do better. Keep your place clean. As clean as possible. It ain't got to be the most expensive place, but keep it clean. That makes a huge impression on your customers. Have your advertisement and your menus set up well and very informative. Put all your information, the name of your business, your phone number, your address, all of your menu items with descriptions or what have you, whatever your services are. Your sides, have all of this stuff already together. Okay. I said it a minute ago, I'm going to get off my soapbox, but oh my God. A lot of Black-owned businesses, y'all started doing services and businesses through social media and whatnot. You can see a picture of some food that just looks amazing. And you like, ooh, I need some. I'm going to try this. You click on the link. You lucky if you see the name of the place. There's no information. There's no phone number. And especially there's no address. That's a big one. One of the most important things is your address. Where do I have to go to get some of this food? Now I know some of y'all going, well, we're delivery only. Well, put that on your link information. Delivery only, no pickups. We deliver to you. You can click on a lot of people's links and they missing so much information. You have to call them and you got 3, 4, 5 questions to ask them before you can even think about ordering anything from them. Why? Because that information is not there. That's customer service. That's professionalism. You want your customers to be as informed as possible prior to placing their orders with you. You want it to be simple. And the only way it can be simple or simplified is that you provide all of your information, your name of your business, your location, your address, your phone number, your full menu, all the details. Now, yeah, you still gonna get customers who go, hey, is there rice in the rice? Hey, yes. When they ask those kind of questions, that's all you can say. But, I mean, come on, man, your address? A lot of y'all got pull-up spots set up on social media. Where I got pull up to? It's nowhere listed. Or at least call this number to get pull up location. Something. Oh, okay. Let me call them. Find out where they at. If that's if that's all you can do. I get it. But you got, man. Okay, I'm off my soapbox on that. But again, family, a lot of these clauses and agreements that are in these contracts that we are signing for, and when it comes to a lot of the non-poach agreements, like I said, they're just verbal wink agreements between all of these different employers. There's nothing on paper. You as a potential employee, as a new employee, you know nothing about them. They've hidden them from you. The owners of these businesses, they know about them, but they've completely hidden them from you. So when you try to go from one job to the next and they don't call you back, they never call you back for an interview or a job offer, you sitting around like, yeah, what the hell? Why none of I got experience. Why can't I find another job? Because they've been doing this stuff to you. That's why. And it's been going on for decades. Yeah, family. So, at this point, let's talk about some solutions. Here at One Brothas Mind, we always try to provide some practical solutions to whatever the issue that we're covering, because we need solutions, y'all. So, first solution, family. Hit the like button, smash the like, share this report with all your peoples on all your social media, because they need to know about this information. Okay? They need this summary report so they can then take this information and go do more research and get fully informed about these agreements. So you don't get caught and trapped by them without knowing. Okay? And make sure you're subscribed to One Brothas Mind as well. First solution. Second solution. One of the things you can do when you go to accept a new job and they say, come on in, we got the paperwork for you to fill out and everything, and so we can get you started and woo. Okay, go in. Before you walk in the door, you got cell phones now. Open your cell phone, turn the little video thing on, press record. Don't worry about pointing your camera anywhere. Just press record, because what you want it to do is just record the audio. So when you walk up to the manager, the counter, or walk into the meeting where they hand you the paperwork, you're actually recording their response. Why do this, Katie Smooth? Because when you walk in and they hand you all the paperwork that you need to sign to become their new employee, you say, okay, thank you. Is this all the paperwork? They go, yes, all this right here. You got to sign here, initial here. Okay, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this paperwork home and read over it and everything, make sure I understand everything, and then I'll bring it back, sign with everything signed and everything, and turn it in when I'm done reading it over. If it's legitimate, that employer will say, okay, there's no issue. They'll go, okay. At worst, they'll say, well, how long you think it may take you or whatever, because we want to try to get you going, get you started, get you on the schedule as soon as possible. Then it's up to you to decide, give me a couple of days or whatever. or, tomorrow, whatever you want to tell them, whatever you're comfortable with, right? You tell them and they go, okay. Or not. If they go, no, we need you to start, we need you to work tomorrow. We need you to start working tomorrow. So if you're going to do that, you got to sign this paper now. Matter of fact, some of them may tell you you can't take the paperwork home to read over it. If you want to read over it, there's a chair right over in the corner. Go sit over there and read it. And when you get done, sign everything, bring it back up here. So we won't get you started tomorrow. I thought you said you want to start tomorrow. Now they're putting you in a pressure, duress situation. Do you see that? You're like, no, man, I got to understand what's all on here first, what I'm agreeing to. Yeah, I want to start tomorrow, but I got to make sure I'm going to take this home and at my convenience, read over everything. I'm not going to be sitting over here in the corner for the next 3 hours trying to study this thing. Do you see that? But whatever transpires, whatever is said in response to you in regards to these documents, when you inform them that you're going to take them home, read over them, and ensure that you understand everything, if there's any negativity or resistance that comes back, guess what? You got it recorded because you turned your phone on and pressed record before you walked in the door. Do you see that? That's why that's important. And also, if they give you some serious resistance or time restrictions, you got 3 hours or we need this now, stuff like that, you can be like, you know what? Nah, I got to have plenty of time to read this over and understand what I'm signing. So if y'all need this now, y'all go ahead and keep this job. I'm gonna go somewhere else, and you can just walk away. That's the other option you have. Don't never sign nothing, especially not any contract, but an employment contract of any kind under duress or in a hostile environment like that. Okay? I don't care if it's McDonald's. I don't care if it's Pookie Barbecue Shop. I don't care if it's the government. I don't care who it is. Never sign an employment agreement under duress. Walk away. And if you recorded it, now you got something, you got evidence to show what they're doing to potential new employees that oftentimes may actually be illegal. That duress that they're putting you under, oftentimes that's illegal. So now you got the evidence. You literally can take that recording and go file a report with the EEOC, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, or hire an attorney as well and sue them. You see that? All because you turned on your phone and pressed record before you walked inside. A lot of jobs you get offered, they send you an email back and forth, communicating virtually, and they'll say, okay, congratulations, you got the job, come in, fill out the paperwork and everything. Okay, reply to that email, say, okay, can you send me a copy of all of the paperwork and documents that you're going to need me to sign when I do come in, so I can look them over and make sure I understand everything. And then when I come in, either I can bring them signed when I come in or be there, then sign them when I actually arrive. But can you go ahead so I can have time to look them over? Most places are like, sure, here you go. They'll send you the email out with all your documents. You can take your time, read them over, and then all you do is take what they sent you, take those documents with you and match them up to make sure they ain't slipping no new or additional documents in the stack that they hand you when you physically go in to sign the documents, if that's what they're doing. Okay? Of course, some places have where you can electronically sign them and all that stuff, but again, read all of your information. Young people, I know, teenagers, I know, college students. I know y'all ain't trying to read all that little fine print. I get it. But because of these clauses and these agreements that are being snuck in to all these different employment situations and jobs, you have to read all that information and understand it fully before you sign and agree to it. Okay? Parents, again, share this video with all your peoples, with your children. A lot of y'all, mamas and daddies, y'all didn't know this information. Now you do. Share it with your teenagers, with your college students. We got to do everything we can to stop getting trapped in these situations, y'all. You know, this is, what's the word I'm thinking of? This is being proactive, not reactive. Because in these situations, if you didn't read the information and understand it before you signed it, all you can do is then be reactive. And by that time, it's too late. You're stuck. And at best, you might be able to take them to court or something and sue them to try to get your way out of it. But as I showed y'all that map, these laws are enforced in various different levels all over the country. So good luck with that. When all you needed to do was take a few hours and literally read all the information on these employment documents, you can save yourself so much time, money, and pure hell in trying to fight this stuff when you're reacting, if you just be proactive and read these documents and information and understand them. Okay? There you have it, family. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this stuff. Did y'all know this stuff was going on? Did y'all know how prevalent it was? Did y'all know someone that's been caught in a situation with these clauses and contracts? Drop it in the comments, man. Let's chop it up about it. Let's all try to learn what we can so we can better prepare ourselves and protect ourselves. You know, understand the devil in the detail behind these things and what they're doing, especially in our communities where there's very few job opportunities in the first place. I mean, most of us, we had that one or two little strips of road where all the fast food places are, or the majority of them are. You didn't know that they had non-written or verbal non-poach agreements, did you? You didn't understand why you was trying to leave one and go get a job at another one, and they never called you back. They never offered you the job. There's a good chance it's because they had non-poach agreements between each other, non-written. It ain't even on record. They just agreeing that's what they gonna do. Meanwhile, it's keeping you down. It's holding you down. It's holding you and preventing you from moving forward and improving your life with higher pay and salaries and opportunity. Yeah. Oh, the rabbit hole goes deep here. There's so much more we can get into, but we're going to leave it there, family. Again, let's chop it up in the comments and go from there. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm really curious. Did y'all know? Share this information. I can't stress that enough. Share it with your teenagers before they start working. Teach them this. This is our world. It's always has been, but it's escalating even more today. So your kids, you gotta teach your kids this information. Your teenagers, your high school students, your college students, they gotta know this stuff. And young people, you have to read this because mom and daddy ain't gonna be able to save you. They ain't gonna be able to bail you out of these contracts if you just signed them and you didn't read and understand what you were signing. They ain't gonna be able to fix this stuff. Or the cost, the legal cost and hiring attorney stuff will be so high trying to fix it They may not be able to afford to try to help you fix this stuff. When all you had to do was fully read 3, 4, 5 pieces of paper, front to back, and understand what they said on what you was reading. That was it. And then decide, am I okay? Do I agree to all these things that's on these paperwork, on these documents, or not? It's just that simple. And if there's something you don't agree with, communicate with that employer and say, I'm cool with everything, but I have an issue with this clause here. Can this be modified, or can we remove this clause? I don't want to agree to that. And then you put the ball back in the employer or the company's court. And then they're going to give you their response. No, we can't change nothing. Or what part of this? What is it specifically? What would you like for it to say? How on this issue? Or how about this? They might make a different offer. Negotiable. Negotiate. Okay? That's it, family. And this concludes this broadcast for One Brothas Mind. We thank you for joining us. And as a part of the new Black media, B1 choices are mandatory. And being on code is required. But never fear. Yeshua the Christ is with you always. Shalom.